So, hello and welcome back to our 3P in Africa life-changing stories. My name is Shalia Stevens, and I'm a 3P coach who lives and works in Frankfurt am Main in Germany. And today it is my great privilege and honor to interview Philips Tayebwa. And he is the manager of the Nakivale 3P Alcohol Department in Uganda, doing wonderful work, leading a team of men who are healing alcoholism in the Nakivale refugee settlement. And Philips is not a refugee himself, but a humanitarian, or at least that's the way that I like to think about him. We're in contact a lot, like sometimes even on a daily basis. Philips is always sending me pictures of his visits out into the villages where he's bringing the understanding of the three principles to people, to 130,000 people in the Nakivale refugee camp. And Philips, I just wanted to start by saying hello and welcome to this interview. He's usually the one interviewing, so he's on the other side today.
Yeah, hello Shayla. I'm very happy to be here and I'm very happy to share with you, also to be on this call today with you.
Very, very good. And we hope the internet connection holds up today and the battery on the phone and everything. So we'll be crossing our fingers for that.
Yeah.
So Philips, what I would really be interested in knowing is how did you end up at Nakivale? Because you don't have to be there. You went home recently. I think your home is about, I think you told me 5 hours away. You went to visit your daughter and your family, and you come back, and you don't have to be there like a lot of the people that are there. So why are you there? What brought you there?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to appreciate much about that question. First of all, me to get into Nakivale, I may say I was so lucky to be here because, first of all, to come into Nakivale, it was because of my friend who lived around this area, is out of the camp. But when I had come to visit him, and I came to view the settlement away, like 2 kilometers away. I trying to ask him, like, what is that area? And he tried to explain to me that it is a refugee settlement. And he went ahead to explain how refugees are, who is living in that area, like mentioning how it is a mixed place of people from Somalia, from Democratic Republic of Congo, from South Sudan, Ethiopia. Many people coming together there because of political terror and maybe human disasters from their home areas. And I was so much impressed because I had to sleep at his place that night. So the following day, I had to move into the refugee camp, which is Nakivale, in to see how life is, how people are living. And after reaching in the camp, of course, it was something hard because all people were speaking Kiswahili, and I used to study Kiswahili in the high school, but I was not able to practice it since I was living outside the camp. But because Nakivale people are speaking Swahili mostly, now after entering into the camp, it was also like a privilege because I had studied Kiswahili. So I started interacting with people, though I was kind of surprised how people are living, how like people live in temporary houses, in huts, and how there are many gathered in one place. So, but majorly the language, the Kiswahili language that I had studied into second education, second level, it helped me much to connect with them. And as
Mm.
I was asking them, um, I had to get interaction with them. And I went back that day. I did not sleep in camp. Then the following day, it was a Sunday. I came back and I joined the church. Joining a church, it was full of a tribe, Banyamulenge. They are called Banyamulenge from Democratic Republic of Congo, and they tried to express to me how the life was so hard for them. Also, language barrier, because sometimes they could get many friends outside the camp, but they could not speak to them because of language barrier. And life was like that. I went back, then I thought to myself, I came then to see how Nakivale is. Then that is where the journey started. Then I lived around to see how things are, and I came with the idea of seeing how people are suffering traumatic feeling, how they are living in hardship, but because of what happened in their home areas. So I was so much impressed. Now living in, I started to help them by counseling them, going into that church and counseling them into Swahili language, and they came to love me, and I came to love them, and I got now friendship around the camp. That is how I came to say now, oh, I can live in the camp also me. So I started now living in the camp, and that is how it started.
Wow, Phillips, that is amazing. I mean, that is just an incredible story that just by visiting a friend, you got called into the work that you're doing to counsel the people in Naki Valley. And what I hear you say is that you just developed a love for them and they for you, and that drew you into the work that you're doing now. That's pretty incredible because you don't have to be there in that camp in those conditions with those people. Like, I guess a lot of the people out there who are listening, maybe in America, in Germany, other places, like they cannot understand maybe the conditions of the camp, that it's hard there, that there's, like you said, like there's a lack of shelter, there's a lack of food. A lot of times people, are really struggling to get the basic necessary resources that they need. And you're there just among them, living there, helping them there. That's
Yeah,
incredible. Yeah.
yeah, it was so much impressive. And now from counseling, I came to gather many people. Now I came to counsel them about how trauma is, about living better, about teaching them how they can grow their food around their houses. Then now the idea of registering my community-based organization also came in, and I had to register it. That is Healing Health, Healing Hearts. And then after that, that is when I came into knowing about three principles that came like as a additional knowledge on how I can help people alleviate their human suffering. And after now gaining from three principles, I had to share much more, and it has been so privileged that people have seen success through the sharings.
Yeah. Well, I want to take the interview there, but before that I do that, I really would like to hear how you found out about the three principles yourself, and like being a counselor, like already with the people, already helping them with their trauma, already helping them to grow food and the things like you were saying. Like, how did you find out about it? And how did it change the way you thought about life, about who you are, about how you think? Like, let's start with your own personal understanding before we talk about how you help others with the understanding.
First of all, as I mentioned, I was living now in Nakivale, but sharing to people, helping people to alleviate their suffering. But of course, I did not have pure understanding about myself, about knowing that thought is so much um, can change my life. So, by understanding the three principles, of course, there was my friend who had a school, and I used to go to his school also to meet some people, and he knew that I'm a counselor, sharing to people about hope. So after he was the one who knew Harry. After now knowing Harry, he knew I'm in the group of helping people into counseling. So when he was attending Harry's teachings, he had to invite me and say, I have listened to Harry, and it seems is a good man and is sharing what he's sharing would be matching with what you're doing to the community to make sure that people can see their own beauty. So he invited me, and now Harry started training us, started sharing to us about three principles, and I started seeing myself, though I was sharing to people, but still I was still lacking something. Um, to share the purity of how thoughts works, of how loving God is so vital. So I came to understand that wisdom lies within, and also love is so much important, starting with myself. Because before, as I was sharing, I could share, but when sometimes I see sometimes people who may try to not attend to me, you find sometimes it takes me a lot of time, I don't give them attention, something like that. But I came to understand that all that outside circumstance should not be making me live into a negativity or something like that. So I came to understand that understanding three principles helped me to know that wisdom lies within me, and what I bring into my life is what is going to come out. If I now try to welcome the negativity, then the negativity is the one to be coming out. So it was so much important to understand the right use of thought, to understand that if I'm overthinking, then the same overthinking is going to affect my feelings, and I won't be happy.
So, Phillips, tell me about bringing the three principles into your work as a counselor and like starting to go out and wanting to heal alcoholism in the community. Because for people who haven't maybe heard about Nakivale Refugee Camp, anytime people are subject to war, conflict, really, really big hardships, whether it be drought, starvation, like all the things, and people are getting displaced and coming into a situation like a refugee camp where they're leaving their homes, they're displaced, they're dealing with a lot of memories of trauma that has happened. And many of them are reaching for alcohol because they believe if they drink, they will feel better. It like is a way to feel happier, to numb themselves. At least that's what they believe. And then it gets them into all kinds of trouble. And now you're going out and you're trying to help people with this issue that's like rampant in the refugee camps, but also in other parts of Africa. Tell me how that work is and what bringing the three principles into that work is meaning to you.
First of all, it has been so blessing, and as I said, I see myself as like a human being to be around here, because when I was sharing three principles to people after I learned about them, then I could share majorly about emotional trauma and how people are living and how they overthink. But now I came to understand that in my groups that I was sharing to, I came to see that people just come there, and you find sometimes they are not even listening. So when I tried to find out, I found out that some people even come there, but they are even drunk. They are coming into sessions, but still they first pass through bars, and sometimes they are not stable because of alcohol, and they come into sessions. So when I now discovered about that, I tried to take a control to see how best can I be sharing to people who are coming to listen to themselves, to feel themselves on how things are moving. So that is when I started to tell them that alcohol is never a disease, but it is up to them to on what they think. If they are overthinking about the past and they think now going into taking alcohol will be the solution, that is a lie. And they come to understand that taking alcohol is bringing a temporary happiness, and I had to share them that happiness lies within them, and it is gifted free from God. So they came to understand about that, and now sharing into that, we started with three guys, who is Nehemiah, Murinda, and Andrew. So they came to see themselves after they have now dropped alcohol. They came now to be counselors after understanding the role of thought and seeing that happiness lies in, and seeing that taking alcohol just brings temporary happiness. So it has been so great that now the people who were victims are now seeing victory in their life and sharing into others. Well, I feel like because I have seen what God is doing, because now I didn't know that I can be able to help some other people. I didn't know that I can be able to live happy despite of outer challenges, but myself to understand that happiness is something that is free and in us. So that is why I say that I'm lucky, because understanding about three principles have uncovered um, all that, to know that sometimes we cover our happiness ourselves. We find we are covering our happiness. So to know that, I see that I'm so lucky, and to see that I can be able to help people who are seeing they were depressed, and they see that they are hopeless, but seeing that myself, I shared people and they see hope. I shared people and they become happy despite they don't have houses, they don't have food. But you see, it is also a sort of a gift from God. That's why I say that I'm also lucky to be sharing to people and see that the suffering is alleviated. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, isn't it a gift? I feel the same way, Phillips. Like on the one hand, it was so life-changing for me to come across this understanding. It literally changed everything about how I was experiencing life. And on the other hand, like you, like this incredible gift of getting to share the understanding with other people and watching them wake up to a new understanding of life and their thoughts and becoming happy. It's just the biggest gift. And that's what I hear you say. It's like just amazing to watch. And
Yes.
and that's my next question, or that leads into my next question, which is like what is a story that you experienced, you saw happen to someone that really impressed you recently, where you just can help the people out in the world have a better understanding of like what this change looks like when people understand the three P's and are able to change. Can you pick just maybe somebody out that comes to mind from recent?
Yeah, actually, I think this happened now. It was Monday in our group, and we saw a very beautiful insight when a member in a group were sharing, and after she was giving a takeaway on what she has got from what I was sharing to them, and she mentioned that she has seen that if she's overputting negativity into her every time, like she's living worried about what she's going to eat, the next day she is living worried what kids will eat, she's living worried how she will get clothes of the kids, all of that. And she came to see that if she is now getting all that negativity into her head, nothing is going to be coming out good. So it was such a beautiful insight to see someone when we were starting the sessions in the village. He was over crying, me, I don't have food, me, I don't have clothes, me, I don't have money. But at the end of the day, she was the one sharing that I have seen that all this, if I overthink about this, nothing is going to come out. It is all about me to put the positivity into myself, then the positive will come out. I've seen that, of course, she came to gain hope. Before she was living hopeless, and before she was living, her level of understanding was low, and that is why she used to think of the negativity. And I came to share to her that if she keeps thinking about negativity, then she will live negative. And also, if she lives negative, then the God is running away from her. But if she's thinking positive, then she's welcoming the blessings, and she's going to live better.
Mm. So why is hope so important for the people that you teach, Philips? What have you seen about that? Why is hope so important?
Because I've seen sometimes if someone has lost hope, is now hopeless, then you find that at one point, then he's not even loving himself because he's not hopeful. Now he trying to hate himself. Is now seeing that everything is not possible. So I have seen that hope is something very important because someone who is hopeful, then love and forgiveness comes in, and he has to see how he can balance life and also he or her thoughts.
Yeah, yeah. So, Phillips, when you look into the future and all of the things that are coming, and we don't know, like we're always living on unknown, but what is your dream for the people at Nakivale? Like, what do you dream of happening for them?
First of all, I'm dreaming that people have been mostly, oh, they are singing about love of God, but sometimes they don't also think about themselves. So I see in future, all people will understand about themselves, about love of God, about their thinking. Then when that balance comes in, they will have to love themselves and forgive the rest. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That they will also love themselves. That's what you hope for the people there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, Phillips, what else do you want to share with the people who are out there listening? Like, what would you want them to know about Naki Valley, about the three principles, about the work that you're doing? Anything that you would think is important to share?
First of all, I would like to share that where we are living, people are needed, they are vulnerable people, but we are trying to share our best. And what we are sharing, first of all, is welcomed and we are seeing success, but we still push ahead to see how it is going. But also, I would share to anyone who is listening to me that if you have anybody having challenges concerning emotional trauma, concerning addiction, I'm available to be sharing to people to make sure we alleviate suffering into the world and we live better.
Yeah. Yeah, and Phillips, you told me today that you would love to get on a call with the client who is struggling with alcoholism and addiction and share what you've been sharing with the people at Naki Valley because you've seen it completely transform lives there. And Phillips wants to like be a global 3P educator. So like it doesn't matter where you are coming from Sweden, from the Czech Republic, from China, he doesn't care. Reach out and let us know, and we'll hook you up with Phillips and have a conversation. And I also wanted to share Phillips, and maybe you can help me out with this because the work that Phillips and his team are doing is they've been doing it on a like shoestring budget for the last couple of years, like a year and a half, or even longer now. And we've been out there helping them spread their wisdom with the world, like through videos like this one, through webinars. And there's also some financial need there that, is it's just there. Like you guys need money to have transportation to drive out to them, over 70 villages and spread the understanding. A lot of times when you get to the villages, people are hungry and you bring things that sustain them, like food, just to have a meeting. The families of the team members, they have a lack of food sometimes and don't get regular meals. So, Philip, like, what can you say about people who have been touched today and like want to help this mission of the 3P in Africa, particularly the Naki Valley 3P Alcohol Department? Like, what do you guys need right now and how can people help?
First of all, as I said, we started these three principles and we are sharing and we have been sharing. But first of all, we are moving because Nakivari is covering 71 square kilometer with many villages, around 100 maybe villages. And we have to move on foot from village to village, sharing to people. And we have already set some groups that we meet. We have a schedule that we meet groups. Per schedule from Monday to Friday, and After that, we still have a need of a building that we get our office as a sleepy alcohol department in Nakivale, so that even if people are moving or out there, they can come into our office and our counselors are there to be delivering service to them. Then also another thing you find where we are going into the villages, as Shara mentioned, people are living there and they are hungry. So sometimes we share refreshment when we go there, and sitting where they sit, they don't have where they sit. The counselors, the CP counselors that we are working with, they are having children, they are having wives, but they move from morning and they go into villages to share three principles, and you find they are coming back home, they don't have any sort of facilitation. So we still need a lot to make us more successful, though we are already successful. So that is so much appreciated. If anyone could come in, like we're having a GoFund running of Nakivale CPR Alcohol Department, that will be so much appreciated that we can cover some costs and we make sure we deliver our best services to people.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll post that GoFundMe link underneath this video for people who are interested in making a donation. And Phillips, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for coming today and taking your time to answer my questions. I want to thank you for being my friend, for keeping contact with me every day and letting me know how the sharing is going, how things are going in the community. I want to thank you for being a positive influence on my life. Your work is an example of love, of just enormous love. Phillips is one has one of the biggest hearts that I know. And when you're out there doing your work every day, it encourages me more to do my work every day, sharing this understanding with other people. So you've been a major influence on me, Phillips. I don't know if you know that, but it is
Yeah.
true. It is true. And I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate you too so much, Shayla, because first of all, you have done much into our lives, also into donating. The other time we shared with you, and it has pushed us. Even where I'm sitting, we came to rent this office that I'm sitting because of the the donations you give. Though it is also needed to be ending that maybe in future we can build our own office, but where we are here because of the donations that you raised, and what we share daily, or even more time that I share with you. I also feel myself that we are in positive feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we're in a positive feelings. It's a spiritual connection, Phillips. And I hope everyone out there can feel your heart, can have heard something today for their own life, that they will feel more inner peace and calm and love and take something away from this conversation today. And keep listening to the 3P in Africa life-changing stories that Phillips is going to be helping me bring out some more in the next couple of weeks and months. And so we'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.